instructions to Secret Service agents about how to develop a source and how you want to weave a psychological net around the source so you can pull it tight at the appropriate time. And they say the reason you want to do this is because if you can control someone, then you know you can trust the information that you are getting from them. But I love the last line here. It says, however, the methods and behavioral techniques that are needed to attain this goal are radically contrary to the ethics and morality of society in the field of interpersonal relations. I'm like, yeah, you think? Okay. And then the second part, and then this was the extract from the 1982 Pugwash memo, and this is the document that I found in that Smithsonian folder. And so the text came from the subject line, which was, and again, I won't read to you, but basically it says Sakharov here, and anti-Sovietskogo, and I can't print it, here we go, American something. And it was classified, secretno, secret. Right. And when the press release went out, and Slashdot picked it up, and I really enjoyed the chatter that was on Slashdot from. Well, first of all, the traffic was just insane. I mean, I've been carefully tracking everyone that comes to my website and saying, oh, I got 5 visitors today, and 6, oh, I know who that person is, oh, I know who that person is. And then traffic picked up a little bit, and then I was looking at a chart later that showed hour by hour traffic, saying, okay, this hour you got 5 people, this hour you got 7 people, this hour you got 9,036 people. Boom, there's Slashdot, and there's just tens of thousands of people pouring in. And I really enjoyed the chatter, because then they started saying, no, what the Cyrillic projector really says is, send more vodka. and another one of the solutions that I just really enjoyed was, no, what the Cyrillic projector really says is, keep information away from moose and squirrel. Okay, right. So then we went back and we looked at the Cyrillic projector, and we said, okay, well, there were some spelling errors. Was this our screw up, or was this something, again, that was hard-coded in the sculpture? And it was hard-coded. Our transcript was correct. So we don't know if these spelling errors may give us some clues towards cracking the CIA sculpture. So getting back to Kryptos. So the latitude and longitude, so here we have the original headquarters building, and this is the new headquarters building. This building with the funny-shaped roof in the middle is the cafeteria. And the Kryptos sculpture is right about here. So it's in the courtyard outside the cafeteria, so as the employees are eating lunch, there's a whole wall of windows here so they can look out the windows. Sanborn made pieces here, he made pieces in the courtyard, and he also made several pieces out here in the front entrance area. Here's a close-up. So again, here we have the cafeteria. Here we have the new headquarters building. This little squiggle here is Kryptos. Sanborn designed this entire semicircular area. There's a duck pond here and some granite slabs. There's also some granite slabs here. We think that the latitude and longitude coordinates point to right about there. And we've had people go there and look. We don't see anything unusual. These little dots are lunch tables, but they're free moving. You can drag them around to different locations. There are a couple manhole covers in the courtyard, but there's manhole covers all over the place. What's underneath that spot, I've been told that it's not just utility tunnels, that there's actually a whole layer of offices underneath the CIA. So it's possible we need to go down someone's office and look at ceiling tiles. I don't know. Here's another image. This is from Windows Live. So again, we have Kryptos here, and we have the duck pond and the slabs, and then Sanborn made these. Now notice how there's 3 slabs here. 1, 2, and 3. And then we have the slabs here. Slab, slab, Kryptos. And these 2 lines, the parallel nature of them, and Sanborn has said that that is deliberate, that the pieces in the front entrance were supposed to be parallel to what was in the courtyard. Now when I've shown him this slide and I've said, well, we think that this is where the latitude and longitude coordinates point to, he says, yeah, that's about right. It's either there or here. Now why he would say something like that, maybe the parallel nature of it, or maybe it's more misdirection, we don't know. Here's a close-up of that. So we have these large slabs here, here, and here. Now on this one there's also an engraved compass rose, and there's a lodestone, and there's also sheets of copper in between the slabs that have Morse code messages on them. Here's a close-up of the slabs and these Morse code messages, and they say things like SOS, shadow forces, lucid memory, T is your position, digital interpretatu. Don't know what that means. Now Sanborn has said they're related to part 2. Some of them have leading dots. I don't actually have a slide this, but the message, it kind of goes off the edge and then it's like dot, 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 dot. And one person in my group pointed out that this may be a crib towards figuring out a key, meaning if you take one of these messages, and I'm not remembering, I don't know if Aesthetics remembers, but if you take one of these and you drag it along the ciphertext for part 2, and you decrypt, 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 at one point, if you take it off exactly 5 spaces, you get a little slice of plain text that becomes visible, and you can use that plain text to figure out the rest of the plain text. So you have to do it 5 spaces off, and the Morse code on that plate has 5 dots on it. So it might be a clue for what we're calling crib dragging. So we're doing lots of crib dragging on all the different parts of ciphertext. Here's the compass rose. There's the lodestone. Okay, so just checking how I'm doing on time. Way too much information, not enough time. So this was where we figured out the numeric key for Kryptos, and we found out that Kryptos was a key for part 3 as well as for parts 1 and part 2. Which is the key is 1473625, which if you take the letters of Kryptos, you alphabetize them, and you number them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then you spell it correctly again, you come up with the key 1473625, which is the key for part 3. Deliberate or coincidence, we don't know. And this was the original mathematical formula for solving part 3. There's also another method with double kilometer transposition. I told you about how these letters are out of alignment. It's possible that those are a clue for a different kind of cryptographic system called rail fence, which is where you take a message like meet you at the clock, and you write it diagonally, meet you at the clock. And then you take each line, MYTCK would be the first part, and then that would be a way of encrypting things. So maybe we need to figure out what the angles are. And then in this one, we took the first part, MYTCK first, but that's 1, 2, 3. If you maybe want to start with a different number, so 3, 1, 2, then you would start with the EUHO line, EUHO. And so there's all these different possible ways of doing it, and we're trying a lot of these different methods. Someone else pointed out that on the Visionaire side, that there's this extra L at the end of one line, so there's 2 lines that both end with the letter L. And this line with the extra L is on the same altitude as the out-of-alignment letters from the other side of Kryptos. So it's possible that that's a clue to draw the eye to that line. We've counted the number of characters. I'm going to go through these really fast. Yeah, I told you that. Now, someone said in terms of visual clue, on the Cyrillic projector, if you're looking at the way that the light projects, you can see the word Medusa. And Medusa, or the Russian version of the word Medusa, is actually one of the keys for cracking the projector. Now, where is this word Medusa coming from? It's coming from the 3rd line of this plate. And if you go up and look at the 3rd line of that plate, there's actually an extra bolt that's right there. And it's difficult to see from the outside of the sculpture, but if you look from the inside, it becomes really obvious. And it's the only bolt like that on the entire sculpture. Again, I've shown this slide to Sanborn, and he said, I stripped something out and I just needed to add an extra bolt in that place. Possible, but maybe it's a clue and he's doing misdirection. We don't know. I won't go into that. This is one of my pet theories, but I can skip that. Part 4, it's also been pointed out that we have the letters here, KR, YP, T, and OS. So we have all the letters of Kryptos very close together. So maybe there is something about it needs to be wrapped around, or maybe that's a clue. Maybe we need to remove those letters from the ciphertext. Someone else pointed out that if you take all the letters of part 4 and you line them up in these 7-letter rows and you get this nice rectangle, that if you count the doubled letter pairs, there's exactly 6 doubled letter pairs. 5 of them are exactly lined up, one under the other. The chances of there being 6 doubled letter pairs, it's not statistically significant. It's like 1 in 3. The chances that they'd be lined up like that is statistically significant. Chances are like 1 in 1,000. Also, the 7 letters. Kryptos has 7 letters, so there might be this might be a clue towards something. This is Ed Scheidt, the CIA, the head of the CIA Cryptographic Center. He said that he knew the last part of Kryptos would be the hardest to crack. He figured it would stand for at least 10 years. And he said he did things to mask the English in part 4. He said he used a little bit of steganography. And when I asked him at the art show, a Sanborn art show opening at the Corcoran Gallery in Washington, D.C., and I asked Ed, I said, why is it that you think part 4 hasn't been solved yet? And he said, well, you've solved the first 3 parts, but you did it without recovering the keys first. Don't know what that means. When David Stein, the CIA analyst, gave a talk at CIA about how he had solved the first 3 parts, at the end of the talk, Scheidt went up to Stein and said, congratulations, your answers were correct, but you did not solve them in the way that they were intended to be solved. So again, there may be some key that's on CIA grounds that we just haven't found. One theory is that Sanborn hand-carved parts of Kryptos. Maybe some of the letters are rough and some are smooth. Maybe if we could see it closer, we could see that the letters go rough, smooth, smooth, rough, rough, smooth. So maybe there's Morse, maybe there's binary or something. Maybe, we don't know. We just don't know. I mean, I'm considered one of the world's top experts on Kryptos. I've only seen the thing once. So it's like we're looking down this long tunnel trying to see everything we can about the sculpture. So was stuff carved by hand. Someone has pointed out if you take the keywords abscissa and palimpsest and you anagram them, you can get the phrase PS. It's as simple as ABC. Is this coincidence? Is it deliberate? We don't know. Right. Okay, also, when I was talking to Ed, he was very eager to see me get access to CIA again. He said, and I said, well, I'm trying to get another speaking invite. And he said, well, if you can't get on the grounds, let me know. So I told him, I said, I tried to get another speaking invite. I couldn't get another speaking invite. And then I sent that email, and he didn't reply right away. But about 2 hours after I sent that email, I get this IM pop up on my screen. It's from Molly H. And it's one line. It says, the key to Kryptos is komitet. Now, komitet, I recognize the word right away. It's a Russian word. It means committee. It's the K in KGB. It's 7 letters long. And I am back to this person. I said, tell me more, and they didn't answer. I am back a couple minutes later. They're gone. I reach out through my contacts. I say, who the hell is Molly H? I got people who go in and they check databases, and they say it's a screen name that was hacked and then deleted. It was hacked. They sent you a message. They deleted it. So also, Molly Hale, by the way, is the name of the person who's the head of the CIA's Public Affairs Department, which I don't think means that Molly sent me this message, but if someone was going to give me a clue, maybe. And it's interesting that they said the key, not the keyword, but the key. And there's also 7 letters in komitet. So again, that letter I found in the Smithsonian folder. So was it a hint or a hoax? Whoever sent it, they knew I was working on Kryptos. Not hard. You go to Google, you type in my name, Kryptos comes right up. And they knew some Cold War history, and they're waving, and I have to wrap this up really quick. So I'm going to, these are other pieces that Sanborn has done. This is a restaurant in DC that Sanborn decorated. It has classified documents. One of these documents is that same document from the Smithsonian folder. So if he put the source for the Cyrillic projector on that wall, chances are that he may also have the source for Kryptos somewhere on that wall as well. Da Vinci Code, I'll go through this really fast. On the back of the book, it says, in that brown tear, it says only WW knows. Also on the back of the book, really faint light red on dark red, we have the latitude and longitude coordinates, 37 degrees. But Kryptos says 38. The Da Vinci Code says 37. I've asked Brown why the difference. He says the discrepancy is intentional. This is something someone in my group made a 3D model of Kryptos just so they could import it into a Half-Life engine, so they could take a crowbar to it and shatter it into 1,000 pieces. And I had the I'm out of time, so I can't show the CNN interview. I will be out there later, and I'll be in the bar later. Anyone who's interested, I'll show you the CNN clip. So, summary, real quick. Kryptos has 4 sections of the code. 3 of the 4 have been solved. Sanborn's Untitled Kryptos piece has 2 sides. One side has the CIA text, the other has the KGB side, which is what we cracked. Both Sanborn and Scheidt have said it is solvable. And my goal is not necessarily to be the person to solve it, but to help see it solved by sharing as much information as I can about Kryptos. Anyone that wants to help, like help make a 3D model or something, we'd love to have your assistance. You can get more email or you can get more information by sending an email to our Yahoo groups, Kryptos-subscribe, or email me, or in the book I've got information on Kryptos as well. Do I have time for any questions? Sorry. Thank you all very much for coming.
know this is probably pretty simple, Wonka, but how come? I mean, if you didn't find the key already, maybe Shite went one way. I'm sure you've probably heard this a million times.